Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You'll have to excuse the background, the lighting and all the trash. Basically, if you don't know, if you're new here and you don't know, I'm doing a block of sit down videos for when I go in to be induced for baby number 2, so that I don't miss a day of upload. This video will be the controversial parenting tag. You'll have to excuse, I'm going to keep looking at the screen for the questions. I think there's about 14 questions. This is going to be a controversial video, as the title explains, so I don't want the comments to get heated or anything like that. These are my sole opinions. There's one of the questions that I will leave a video down below explaining why I believe that is the way it should be. If you want it in more depth, I'll probably go into when the question comes up anyway. Let's just get started before I ramble on any longer. The first question is pro-life or pro-choice, and like most people that I've watched, I am pro-choice. Obviously, I believe it's a woman's body before it's a baby's body, to be considered, to be quite honest and frank with you. I know it's controversial in the fact that they're like, well, the baby can feel things and so on, but it's not an intelligent life force, and we kill animals every day to eat them. So what is the difference? Do you know what I mean? I know you can say, oh, but it's a human, but it's not an intelligent being at that stage in life, and that woman has her own life she needs to care about and think about, and if she can't provide for a baby, then the baby shouldn't be brought into the world. There's so many people, like children in care homes and stuff, because their parents weren't able to provide for them. It's just not, the world is overpopulated. We should, you know, do you know what I mean? That's where I am on that situation. Anyway, question number 2, baby wearing. So that's like carrying children, babies, in the carrier things. I did actually try this with Mikey, my first son, but I did it at an older age. I think it might have been like 10 months ish, and he was heavy. He was so heavy, so I couldn't personally do it. Also, they get quite attached to you, and it's not something that I would personally do, but I think it's a brilliant idea if you are someone who does do it. So I don't have a problem with it either way. So question number 3, circumcision. I strongly disagree with circumcision if it's not for a medical reason. I don't believe it's my choice to remove a part of my child's body without their permission, unless it needs to be done medically. That's how I feel about it. I know a lot of people do it for religious reasons, which is entirely up to them. People who don't do it for religious reasons, I don't understand why you do it at all, to be honest, because you can argue that it's cleaner, but it's only cleaner if you don't look after their genitals properly. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, if you're someone who is just doing it because their dad was when they were a baby, I know that's quite a common thing in America, really do your research first, because it can bring on some horrible complications if it doesn't need to be done. So yeah, if you're expecting and you're having a little boy and you're not sure whether or not to get it done, just do some research. I can't tell you not to have it done, obviously, because that's your decision, but all I can say is do some research about it, to be honest, because I mean, it's a young child's genitalia that you're mutilating, and if you don't need to do that, then why? That's how I feel anyway. Next one is adoption. I think this means putting your child up for adoption opposed to actually adopting. Obviously I would have thought that everyone was okay with people adopting children, but some people might think that it's bad to put your child up for adoption. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I feel like some women, like if they don't, some people don't believe in abortion, so they don't want to abort their children, so they want to adopt them instead and give them to a loving family. Some people find it too late in pregnancy that they're having a child, feel like they can't actually bring up the child, so they put them into adoption. Yeah, it all depends on the situation, doesn't it, really? If it's something that you've really thought about and you really feel like you can't look after your child, you can't provide for your children, or you just simply don't want children, then I don't see the problem with putting your child up for adoption. It's something that you have to research, obviously, and make sure it's your final decision. But it can be a blessing in some cases, because some people can't have children and they want to adopt, you know. So yeah, there are a lot in the care system a lot of children in the care system, which is really unfortunate. But babies usually go first, like they get adopted first, if you know what I mean. So if it's something that you are thinking of doing, obviously you do it as soon as the baby's born, kind of, opposed to children being taken off of you when they're like toddlers or older, and then they get stuck in the system, which is really horrible. That's how I feel. I could talk about it for ages. I don't know. Anyway, the next one is baby piercing, which I think they mean getting your baby's ears pierced, because I don't think you'd get anything else pierced. Now, before I had children, I always said that if I had a baby girl, I'd get her ears pierced. And one of the reasons was, I have a friend that I didn't have her ears pierced until she was about 14, 15. And it really hurt. It got infected, so she took them out, and then she had to have them pierced again. And it was a palaver, like, for her. So I felt like, well, mainly talking about girls. I know that's kind of sexist in a way, but if I had a girl, I was like, yeah, I'd get her ears pierced. I had mine done from a young age, although I think I was between the ages of 3 and 5, because I briefly remember it, kind of. I remember laying down on the bed thing, and that's it. And I'm sure I'd have my ears pierced. But, yeah, so I always said when they were a baby, maybe about 8 months old, I'd have my girls' ears pierced. Now I have children, and I've watched other people's videos on this, I've actually completely changed my mind, and I'm against it, for the sense that if you have them done when they're too young, they can get misplaced because of the growth of the ear. They can get infected, because obviously if their hands aren't clean and they touch them in the night or whatever, they can get infected. And also, again, the same as circumcision, you shouldn't do something to your child's body without their permission, if that makes sense, to a certain degree, obviously, if that makes sense. So if I had a little girl, or if Mikey or his brother wanted one of their ears pierced or whatever when they're older, I would wait until they're an age where they can decide that for themselves. If that means they're 4 or 5, then I would go to a place that would do it sanitary with a needle. But if not, then that's entirely up to them. I wouldn't say, oh, I wouldn't get my child's ears pierced at all. I wouldn't get a baby's ears pierced, or a toddler's, because they can't communicate with you. Kids, if they wanted it and it's something that they're sure that they wanted, then possibly. I'm not totally against the whole child saying they want their ears pierced, but I'm kind of against babies and toddlers who can't tell you whether or not they want their ears pierced, if that makes sense. Oh, getting out of breath. Next one is breast milk versus formula. Of course, fed is best, which means either is great. But then scientifically, breast milk is better for the child, because it helps their immune system incredibly more than formula fed children. I formula fed my first son. I'm planning on breastfeeding my second, if it goes well. If it doesn't, I'm going to formula feed him. At the end of the day, we're at a point in science where formula is almost just as good as breast milk. It's so advanced and so high tech that it's great either way. If you can have that bond and breastfeed your child, that's absolutely brilliant. If you're someone who doesn't want to or is unable to, we're blessed in the sense that we have the formula for that, and we don't have to worry about not breastfeeding our children or them getting sick, because of what we have in today's, what's that word? What I was trying to say is, in this day and age, we don't necessarily like the technology, well, kind of like the technology to make the formula as best as it can be for our children. That's what I was trying to say. So either way, as long as your baby's being fed, I don't think it really matters on what way, if it's breast or formula, as long as your baby's being fed. Number 7 is the cry out method, or other methods, which I think it is it cry out or not cry out method. I don't know how I feel about this one, to be honest, because for some mums, the cry out method works wonders. They leave their baby to cry for 20 minutes and their baby goes to sleep. I never had that experience with Mikey. I left him to cry for 20 minutes and he was absolutely distraught, and I felt absolutely distraught afterwards. It was almost traumatising for us, to be honest. So I think you just do what works for you in this sense, or in this case is what I meant. If the cry out method works for you, that's absolutely great. If it doesn't, I'm with you, because it didn't work for us. Also, I don't really have a problem of just like laying there with him until he falls asleep. I just think all children are different, so all different things or methods can work differently. as I said, I think it all depends on the child. So I don't have a problem with that either way. Number 8, spanking. So like hitting or slapping when they're being naughty, I suppose. I don't entirely agree with this. I was only ever hit once as a child by my mum, and we both sat on the bed and cried together. But to be fair, I was being an absolute brat. I was being really naughty, and she never hit my sister. My sister was only ever hit by my dad once, and I think they probably both cried together. He has never hit me. That was before I was born. He never hit me at all. So it didn't affect me growing up not being hit, in the sense that I don't know how to explain. I wasn't a naughty child. I was a brat, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like, my sister was good as gold, and she only got hit once, you know. So children don't need to be slapped to learn behavioural skills or manners or anything like that. So no, I don't think you should hit your children or slap your children. There are plenty of other ways. Watch Super Nanny, because I think she's amazing, and I learnt some things from her before I even had Mikey. The only thing is, it's really hard with a toddler because they don't understand. When they're old enough to understand, like, if you don't behave, I'm going to put you on the naughty step, a bit easier, because they know they're going to go on the naughty step. He'll be like, huh? You don't even know what a naughty step is. So toddlers, kind of hard to deal with, but all toddlers are. So, you know, it's a phase you have to get through, and you just can't hit them because that's bad. Next one, co-sleeping. I don't have a problem with co-sleeping. I know it can be very dangerous to co-sleep with your children. I co-sleep with Mikey, now he's older. I didn't co-sleep with him as a newborn. Probably let him in the bed when he was probably about 3 to 4 months old. And mainly in the mornings. We never co-slept overnight, like the whole way through the night. The only times we've done that is when he's been sick, like he's not been very well. So he slept in the bed with us for a night, but that's not often at all. I personally quite enjoy co-sleeping with him because it's a comfort, and I think it's a comfort for both of us, in the sense of I go to bed every night with his dad, but he has to go to bed on his own. It's like, I don't see how that's fair, that he has to go to bed all alone and I get like somebody with me. Does that make sense? So I think if you co-parent, that's great. If that's working for you, then I don't see the problem. If you have a newborn and you feel like you're a heavy sleeper, then yeah, there are potential dangers in that, and maybe that isn't the best thing for you and your child. So going back to the whole cry out method, every child and parent is different. So some people it would work really well, and other people it won't work at all and can be a hazard to the newborn child. Also, when you sleep next to your children, it helps regulate their temperature and their heart rate. So there's nothing wrong with that if you're doing it safely. So if you're practicing safe sleep with the co-sleeping, then I don't have a problem with it. I don't really have a problem with it anyway. It's up to you, but just if you are going to do it, or you plan to do it, or you are doing it, just do it safely. That's all I can say, because it can be very dangerous. Home versus public versus private versus charter schooling. I don't think that it matters. I think your children should be educated in any way that you want them to be educated. Again, all children learn differently, so all children will benefit from it differently. The only thing I would say is, if you are a homeschool parent, I think it would be a good idea to take your children to like social clubs so they get to interact with other children, because they need those social skills. If you're just keeping them in all day and schooling them from within the home and that's it, then they might not develop the social skills they necessarily need in later on in life. But other than that, I don't see the problem. I think that, you know, children can learn in so many different fun ways. Like curriculums in normal public schools don't fit every child, and they don't work for every child, and that's why some people do better at school than others, because they just don't learn in that way, and it's not amended for people that don't learn in that way. So people do struggle, which is really unfortunate. And I think that there's them schools, maybe they're charter schools, I don't know what they are, but they're the schools where the children get to decide their topics. Obviously you have to pay for them, so they're like private schools kind of, but they just seem like all schools should be like that. You should just get to decide what you want to do and what you're passionate about. Obviously, like, learn your core subjects like English and maths, because you need that in life, but you don't need to learn, like, what is it, like art, unless you want to do art. Like, if something you're really interested in, you do art. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like children need to just be able to express themselves more in school, opposed to being forced to do certain things. The next one is vaccinations. Now, this is the topic I was talking about, that I was going to leave a video link down below. Kind of like an evidence proof type video, kind of research, sort of. Now, I personally think that you're ignorant if you do not vaccinate your children. You have not obviously done the research properly, and if you have, then the people that you've researched are telling you lies. The government are not trying to poison us, for a start. Vaccinations do not cause autism. You are simply just protecting your children by vaccinating them, and other children that can't be vaccinated. Of course, if your child's too sick to be vaccinated, then that's understandable. I don't expect you to vaccinate them if they're unable to be vaccinated. But if there's nothing wrong with your child should be vaccinated, in my opinion, because it's called a herd community, and it helps keep the sick children from being any sicker. If vaccinations did cause autism, which they don't, but if they did, wouldn't you rather your child be autistic than dead? Because they're more likely to die from that horrible sickness they're being vaccinated against than not to die if they get vaccinated. To die if they get vaccinated. Does that make sense? So yes, not all vaccinations work 100%. Is what I meant by that. So yes, not all vaccinations work 100%. For example, the I think it might be the chickenpox vaccination. You can get your child vaccinated for chickenpox. So if you have a chickenpox vaccination, doesn't necessarily mean your child will not get chickenpox, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't get it done. I mean, the chickenpox one is one of the lesser sicknesses, isn't it? Because there's less children dying from that, opposed to like measles or whatever, you know. Yeah, so I'm not going to get too heated about it, but honestly, I think you're very ignorant if you're not getting your children vaccinated. And if you think otherwise, then please watch the video linked down below, because it will explain to you why you should have your children vaccinated, basically, why people should be vaccinated. It's a brilliant video, so please watch that before you come and leave hate on the video, because I think it's something everyone should watch. But yeah, all children should be vaccinated, in my opinion. Thank you. Number 12 is medicating children, which is, well, Chloe is actually in the background, and she explained to me, because I was a bit confused. She explained to me that some people don't take their children to the hospital or medicate them at all because they believe that God will heal them, or like herbs can cure them, or like, you know, like priests, and I think it's big in what community is that called? Jehovah's Witnesses. I think it's a big thing. I think it's that community that it's a big part of, that they believe in self-healing, because they don't believe in blood transfusions and stuff like that. But I think if your child is sick, then you should seek medical attention, obviously. Like, if you're sick, you should seek medical attention. So I give my children medication when I feel like they need it. That's all I can say about that, really. I'm not really that educated on that, in the sense of I don't know a lot about the opposite of that opinion, so I don't know, I can't really talk too much about that. The next one is cloth versus disposable diapers. Overall, I think cloth diapers are a hell of a lot better for the environment. I know you have the biodegradable ones now. When I first had my baby, I didn't have a washing machine, so I couldn't cloth diaper if I chose to, because how would I wash them? Maybe in the sink. I never thought of that. But I personally use disposable diapers, which, I mean, isn't the best option in my opinion. But again, you do what's best for you. Every mum provides for their children differently. So if you're someone who does cloth diapering, I think you're brilliant. If you're someone who uses disposable, then you're just doing what's making life easier for you, is what I'm doing too. So not too much of an opinion on that, to be honest. And then the last question is store-bought baby food versus homemade baby food. And this is kind of a funny question for me, because when I had my son, I was like, I'm going to make all his own food. I don't agree with all the stuff that's in the baby food, like all the salt and added preservatives and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. And here we are 18 months later, and all his food is store-bought. I did try. I tried to make his own, like, pureed vegetables and stuff, and he hated it. It was just plain vegetables. Also, I think you'll find, compared to when I was a child to now, the food has got a lot better. There's like no added sugar to it, less salt or reduced salt and stuff like that. So the food that you actually buy is nowhere near as bad as it was when we were younger. So it's probably not as healthy as making your own food, and obviously not as fresh, but it's not, there's nothing wrong with it in a sense. So yeah, I think that you just do what you want to do. To be fair, it's kind of probably lazy to be buying store-bought baby food, but that's what I do, because I could not be bothered to stand there blending all the carrots and the broccoli and all that stuff. It took ages, and then he didn't eat it. So that's kind of disheartening, isn't it? You make all this stuff and then your baby don't even eat it, whereas you can just buy it and then your baby eats it because they like it, because it's got stuff in it that they like. I don't know, I can't explain it. Yeah, so I think that you just do what's best for you when it comes to that. As long as your baby's fed, that's the overall message here. As long as your baby's fed, it doesn't matter what they're eating. If you have to give them McDonald's once or twice a week because you have been working and you're knackered, give them McDonald's once or twice a week. It's not going to kill them. If they're not getting the right exercise, might make them obese. Maybe give them some exercise. But other than that, I don't know, like, you just do you, you know? That's all the questions. I'm sorry if I've upset anyone with my opinions. That wasn't my intention, but that's how I feel about the questions that I've answered. If you have any questions about my opinions, or feel that I am wrong in my opinion, feel free to comment down below, but please don't hate on other people's comments. You can hate on what I've said, that's fine, but don't hate on what other people have said in the comments down below. Have a go at me. I don't mind that. I've put myself out there for that. But if someone else is disagreeing with you in the comments, just don't say nothing to them. Say it to me. That's all I wish for. I hope you've enjoyed. Please subscribe if you want to see more, and if you don't hate me. And I'll see you all tomorrow in my next video. Bye, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You're gonna have to excuse the background and the lighting and stuff. It's currently 9:30 at night, and I wanted to quickly film this video so I can get it up in time for when I have the baby. Chloe's just popped in for a little thing, so I'll have to restart this video, won't I? I don't have a problem with it either way. My video is being interrupted once again.
Take him to bed, you just have bye.
Okay. Bye. This will be part of bloopers, obviously. Bye, Mikey. Night night.
Good kiss.
What's Chloe? Chloe's on the floor. You might as well say hi as well.
I did, I waved when you came in.
I might be a little bit loud for the next
What are you doing?
11 questions.
What are you doing?
I'm just quickly filming a video so that I can edit it tomorrow night.
Okay.
What I was trying to say, in this day... Don't laugh at me. What I was trying to say is that in this day and age, we have the I can't explain it, okay? I can't explain it. It won't come out.